You see, we're gonna have a meeting, guys. I know the meeting is gonna be right here. Community leaders. Right here, there.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas.
Si gustas poner tu nombre y tu teléfono y tu email, por favor.
What is that for?
Nada más para como registrarse.
Do you have a paper that we can sign up to speak, or is anybody gonna be able to speak?
Si
Usually there's
gustas
a time
hablar.
for like, questions and discussion. So
Okay.
it depends on the presenter, like you can have like the question that you
Okay.
have.
This is a little room I've never been to, guys. Check it out. Let's check this shit out right now. Community meeting right here. How long these meetings last right here, bro?
It's from 5:30 to 6:30, but if la plática se pone buena, then we're
Okay,
here.
cool. What's up with you, man?
What's the highlight now?
You know, so tap in with the city, man. What they talking about over here, you know? It's the community that I was born and raised at, you know. So it's like this is what I do with the sheriffs, you know, especially coming over here holding them accountable. You know what I mean?
They're not showing up today, or their higher patrol's not showing up today.
Oh, they're not.
They were, and they're not showing up. They called, what, an hour ago, Alex? An hour ago?
The sheriff did.
Well, no, not the sheriff, that one of the deputies, the community relations officer. Because normally people last month requested sheriff and highway patrol because they want to talk about the street parking. So they probably want the sheriff, because of the parking and the enforcement of the RVs and stuff like that. And you got the county public works.
Oh, public works is here. Okay.
So sorry to interrupt or to intervene, but so since the sheriffs and the CHP aren't coming, who's going to substitute?
They're going to be in Zoom. We're having fucking issues. Computers. So those will be working, but this one, to bring it up in the screen, that's what we're trying to hurry up and bring it up. Yeah.
So they say they canceled on them,
How are
guys.
you?
Pretty good yourself?
I'm lovely, thank you. Brought some goodies.
Interesting.
No, it's not reading it.
Yeah, it ain't gonna work.
You don't have the HDMI?
That one works? It's becoming glitchy too. You don't have your laptop?
All right, I can go
What
get
did you
it.
think of the meeting today?
All right.
What did you like the meeting?
And they could go live, man. They could go
Oh,
live.
we
You
have to go
know?
live on those two right there.
Well, yeah, we're live on Zoom and what's the Facebook, but the whole point is PowerPoint. You need to see what we're trying to do.
Something they have like if they have like an Instagram, it's kind of cool to go because you could go live. Like if you control it right here on your phone, like me, I'm live on Instagram and YouTube. So if you go live on Instagram, you could actually people could see it on the big screen. You know what I mean?
That was that's what you saying earlier, Alex.
Through your app on your computer. Yeah.
But it's not connected. It has to be he said it has to be a laptop.
Which one? Oh, the public health department. The guy from the public health department. He was he guys. Yeah, but 4 days prior to that, they had messed with the street vendors because I didn't know how did they get to the point where the vendors are at. You know what I mean? So when I seen when I was, because the cop pulled us over, me and my boy, they pulled us over on the Tesla. On the Tesla, they pulled us over, right? So they gave us a ticket, a retaliation ticket, because I was filming. Because they know that I was filming in the car. They know my channel, so, and then they both cops, and I caught them on camera. They decided to pull us over and give my friend a ticket for no front plate on a Tesla. But they couldn't question me. You know me. You know how I get down. You know what I mean?
You didn't have the top or the...
Nah, I was with my homie. He drove the Tesla. He told me, "Come on, let's go."
No, but behind the station.
Yeah, so I just want
Then when they arrested me, what happened was when we followed them to the station, we went over to take a picture of the car. They decided, I didn't know I had a warrant because the public health department put a charge against me. It's called 422, which is terrorist threats. He said that I threatened him. But what I told him on the video, because the video's on live, bro, this is the reason why I record everything live, is because I said, bro, you're old as hell, bro. Ya estás viejo, you're old. You're about to fucking die, bro. You're old. I never said I was in like, you know, a threat. That's not even a threat, bro. So you make yourself look like a llorón, and I went to jail, and you know, paid a big old bond, you know, and. But you know, no, I got a lawyer already, bro. I ain't worried about that. That's just Mickey Mouse to me, bro. I ain't even worried about it. That's just easy to me, you know. It's like going to Disneyland, bro, and having a good time. Honestly, bro, they can't really suppress. You gotta know what you're doing out here. I mean, you know what I mean. So it's like me. I really came out here because when they sent me this post, and this is where I was born and raised at. You know that.
Yeah, I'm right here in the corner.
See, yeah, I know where you at. Yeah, I was born and raised in Bethune, boy. Born and raised in Bethune, you know. So it's like when I found about this meeting, I was like, I want to tap in. You know what I mean?
We have them we got flyer notice.
Yeah.
Every second Wednesday of the month. Every first, second Wednesday of the month.
Cool. I just deal with this shit all my life around here, bro. You know how that shit is over here with the Hudas and shit. Fucking with us all day, you know what I mean? Violating our rights and shit. So.
Yes.
Cool. They're gonna be on the Zoom? I love it.
Yeah, everything's being live already.
As you guys seen when we came in, guys, I'm gonna show you guys. Show you guys that level. Check it out. Yeah.
Y aquí hay de la biblioteca también, por si
No, I just want this one.
Hey, Irma. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Yes. How you doing?
Yeah, it's that in June. And then we're gonna have another one in August, so I guess.
So who's right here going to represent the sheriff?
Hopefully they're on Zoom. This year.
So apparently you guys are going to be on that Zoom call right there. The person is going to speak up about the sheriffs. They got so much money. You guys fun, they have so much money. They don't even have the time to show up to the meeting over here and address themselves to the community. This is the reason why we don't be so close to the community for this kind of shit that they do out here. You see that? They don't even show up. Community expects for them to show up and they don't even show up. What's wrong with that? Crazy. No bueno, guys. No bueno. There's a guy like Wendy. What is that? Wendy Gonzalez, LA County Sheriff, and Angela Gonzalez. They're probably cousins. They crazy. Can't believe LA County Sheriff, but apparently they're gonna be on the Zoom, guys. So we will see them at the Zoom right there right now. So hopefully we'll see their ass. They probably saw the eagle and ran. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. They saw me and boned out. We'll see what they're going to talk about in my community, guys. This is literally my community. This is where I was born and raised at. We'll see what they talk about. They didn't even show up, guys. That's how much clowns they are right here, the deputy sheriffs. Sheriff Luna, you a clown. I swear I'm gonna hashtag these videos. Whoever's on the Zoom call, they're gonna know. Like, dude, you guys are just becoming a mess, police department. Seriously. And then that new law that passed that they didn't want to pass with the sex trafficking about the kids and the pedophiles, you know, that's crazy, man. They're not even protecting our kids. That's crazy. What's up, bro? That's crazy that the sheriff didn't came. I really wanted them to come. Crazy. All that money though, bro, that the people pay them for them not to show to a community meeting? That's crazy. Huh. I just hope they be on the Zoom call. I know the judge blocked it. That was crazy, right? That was super crazy. And then they scared, bro, because you see the judges blocked that they don't have to show their tattoos. The judges just blocked that. That's why they don't want to show up to this meeting. But I'm gonna address his ass right now. Watch. Hope you guys on a Zoom call. That's crazy, bro. Like we want to know, the public want to know, you know. What you mean? They out there terrorizing the community, bro. Shit. Bro, I went through that shit, dog. I was born and raised right here, wait. Like some people tell me, like, damn, fool, like, how did you just end up doing this? You know, I'll be like, fool, I was born and raised South Central, right here, Bethune Park. You know, I live right there on my liveway, so it's like.
Just letting everyone know there's water back here, there's bread, and there's food. Okay?
So it's like when I started doing what I'm doing, I'm a cop watcher where I film the cops. So check this shit out. I'm live on YouTube right now. Send the code. I'm live on YouTube right now. Look, live on YouTube, bro. I do this shit for my community, dog, for the rights, my boy, you know? Come out here doing llorones and lloronas and see who the fuck is fucking with the community, you know what I'm saying? Like some people want to cry for the community. My boy, you don't know that struggle. Don't bet you complain. This is not culture. You don't like it? You gotta straight out. Let's come over here and cry to the community. Not everybody's fortunate. See what I'm saying? That could be your cousin, your brother, fool. You know what I mean? We all go through struggles with all of us. My brother went through the struggles too, so I know what that is. But I like this meeting with them showing up, dog, because when I see they were going to show up and then now you can really show up, like, man, these fools are clowns. Like, a lot of money for them to just show up, my boy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just show up, yeah.
Is that corner right there? So this is the building they want to build in that corner, guys. What you guys think, the community? What you guys think about this building, guys? Because it's not the people's decision. They think because they got the money. It's the community. I think it's pretty good. They keep that sign, that signature. Question, bro. Is it going to be affordable housing?
Yeah.
Very affordable?
Yes.
Okay, cool. What's your name by any chance?
Tim.
Tim? Cool, appreciate it.
Yours?
Good citizen.
Your name is Good Citizen?
Good citizen, that's my name.
Come on.
Come on, man, that's my name.
Mucho gusto, Good Citizen.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. That's pretty interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah. Right? That's the question. How affordable, right? Dude, that car wash been there and I was that little squirt. You know what I miss out of the car wash? I'll tell you what I miss out of the car wash. Some chili cheese fries. And the patty meal special. Oh my God. the pastrami.
Everything I want to
You know?
serve here in the menu.
What about what is that called? El taco, that taco with spicy. What's it called? They used to make it there.
Hasta la ensalada.
I'm gonna remember it. Oh, the chicken salad. Chicken salad was bomb. I want to see how affordable this apartment though, guys. This is what they want to replace. The car wash, guys. If you remember the famous car wash, they're trying to replace the car wash with this building right here. You know? But like he said, I asked him a question, man, is it gonna be affordable? He said, yeah, affordable. About to find out. See that. Here you go, man. Check me out. I'm live on YouTube. Check it out. You see what I do? I should feel good right here. Yeah. I think whatever it is, I hope they just keep that sign because that signature.
Yeah, definitely.
That signature, you know?
That's our good, you know?
Yeah.
That I do appreciate.
I did too. I seen it right now. I was like, oh, that's pretty dope. Pretty
Yeah.
dope. But I just hope to make it affordable in the community. You know, this is not a high upper end. I think it's not a bougie area exactly. So I think we should make it affordable for the people, especially the people that live around the community. Don't bring outsiders because it's right next to the metro. And you know what I mean? And bring it. Nah, keep the money in the community. You know, that's what's important. You know, keep the money within the community.
The community is not looking that great.
Or it's not. It's not.
That looks nice.
Yeah, it does. It does. It looks.
One of the reasons why I'm coming here
Mhm.
is just, I met with the group in March,
Yeah.
and I said I'll keep coming back, because law prevents us from marketing directly to the The more I let people know about the project, the more folks are gonna know, this is what's being built, this is when we're gonna start renting it. We wanna make sure
The community's
that
involved.
we respond to your concerns, and hey, we don't have to be outside of our, I can't stop that, but I can go out of my way and let everyone know what's going on and when. So
But-
that's our plan to try to address concerns.
So pretty much you already have just set date and everything.
All right, welcome everyone to the Florence Firestone Community Leaders Meeting. We're gonna begin
I'll talk
now.
to you.
It's
I'll talk to you.
5:40 something right now. 5:41. All right, so we're gonna begin. I'm gonna introduce the leadership. I'm the Florence Firestone Community Leaders President, and I have right here our Vice President, Deja de la Flor, and we have Diana Oakley, who is our treasurer. The secretary was not able to come today, so we'll move forward without her. We're gonna have guest speaker Wendy Gonzalez and Jelia Gonzalez. They should come in on Zoom. If not, we'll move forward to our next speaker, who is Ari de Chelis, Graffiti Abatement, and Tim Soul from Meta Housing Project. All right, so we're gonna begin with the mission statement. Steve?
The purpose of the organization, the Florence Firestone Community Leaders, is to improve the quality of life in the Florence Firestone and the delivery of Los Angeles County services to its residents.
El propósito de la organización de Florence Firestone Community Leaders es mejorar la calidad de vida en Florence Firestone y la entrega de servicios del Condado de Los Ángeles a los residentes.
All right, everyone, so we're gonna begin. Let's see on Zoom if Wendy logged in. Okay, we're gonna begin with, are you ready? Ari, are you ready?
Yeah.
Or should I let someone else go first? Okay, Tim? Sure. All right, everybody, let's give Tim Soul a round of applause from Meta Housing Project.
Thank you, Alexandra. It's great to be back with meeting with FMCL. I last met with the group in March, your March 8 meeting to obtain your support and answer your questions about what we're proposing to build at the corner of Florence and May, where the old car wash is. This is a depiction of what we're planning to build, and what is in the design was informed by feedback we received from folks like Florence Firestone community leaders, Juntos Florence Firestone Together, and other community members. What I wanted to point out are two items that are two design features that the community insisted
In
to
South Central,
incorporate.
man.
And first of all, the iconic Florence sign. This has been a little bit of a controversy. Some folks in the community want the sign removed and put somewhere else, kind of an entry type banner for the community. Thanks. The Department of Regional Planning has suggested that we preserve it and place it on the side of the building. So we're in the process of evaluating a series of craftsmen who can take the sign down, refurbish it, put it back up, and equip it with what we believe was once neon lights in the sign. I'm not sure if anyone in the room here was around when the car was first built, I think in the, I want to say mid to late 60s, remembers whether there was any neon light in the sign, any recollection?
I've seen pictures.
I mean, if anyone has any pictures, we'd love to get them, because it's going to help to restore, kind
seen
of bring it
pictures.
back to what the original condition the sign was.
I've seen pictures.
The other issue
Unless
concerning
you're not
design
happy
we
with
got
them, I'll give them the
feedback
pictures.
was, folks want to see the fins from the car wash, which is, I never knew this, but the car wash is considered a Googie style architecture. Car washes, diners, etc. of that period in the 60s had that type of design with the big fins. So folks wanted to try to preserve the fins. They're too heavy, and we don't really need the structural kind of size or weight. But we're able to incorporate the design motif of the fin in the side of the building. And that's been met with satisfaction. Some folks still don't like it, but we're doing the best we can to solicit your input and inform our design based on your input. So I'm here today to basically tell you what's been going on in the project since we last met with you in March. Since March, we have applied for funding to move the project forward. We have won approximately about $70 million of the approximately $100 million that it's going to take to build this building. We expect to learn more about the success for other funding applications in the near future. I think once we do that and we know with certainty what our financing structure is,
He did say it's going
we'll
to be
know the full
affordable.
scale and scope
He says it's
of
going
the
to be between
project.
600,
When I
1,000
last
to
met with you,
1,200 or
we spoke
something like
about
that.
housing, but we also spoke about scope of work that would be supported by funds we're winning from the state for infrastructure improvements. Safer sidewalks, safer crosswalks, traffic slowing elements to facilitate more pedestrian and bike use of the community, but also provision of zero electricity buses. Our current proposal calls for 6 new Metro buses and one other Department of Transportation bus that would serve the community. So we'll know whether we've won the funding to pursue that in the near future. But as it stands now, I'm not sure how many were here in March, but let me give you a brief overview of what the project consists of. We have community space on the bottom floor that is for our tenants, but also, when we last met, we were considering devoting a part of this to a commercial space. There was considerable support for some more community-facing or community-serving uses. So we have devoted a portion of space to be flexible space, so we can accommodate meetings from this organization and other community organizations when we start operating. A lot of the feedback that was generated from a meeting about this development, which is 160 units, the 220 spaces of parking. There are going to be 40 efficiency bedrooms, which are about 450, 500 square feet. Those will rent at about $600 a month right now. 2-3 years from now when we open, the rent's probably going to be a little more. We have 71 bedroom units that will rent from a range of about $750 up to about, I think, $1,300. And then we have 52 bedroom units that will rent from about, I think, about $850 to about $1,700 a month. These are all brand new units, fully decked out with new appliances, range hood, refrigerators. They are meant for folks with incomes of approximately, depending on your family size, from about $25 to $55 or $60,000. So affordable. It's difficult to go deeply affordable. It's challenging, but we think we've got a good mix of affordability levels. There is another component of the project that engendered or caused some controversy, and there will be units devoted to folks who are receiving services from the Department of Mental Health and Department of Health Services. There was considerable concern about that, and I'm not going to gloss over it. I want to be straightforward with you folks. I think a lot of the perceptions of how the project is operated is based on how the neighboring development, which is
Why don't you do that, Gabriel?
has been operated. I think all the development communities have learned a lot about how to develop affordable housing for folks with supportive housing needs, the formerly homeless, folks who are frequent users of health systems. So we've developed an expertise in developing this housing and have partnered with the service providers that serve the Florence Firestone community. So we are focused on serving this community to the extent that we can. This is the reason I'm here, is to try to let everyone know how the project is working, when we're going to be leasing up, kind of what the project parameters are. Because fair housing laws don't let me.
That's the old car wash, guys.
Solely to one. It's got to be open for everyone. But I can make the immediate community more aware of what we're doing and give you more frequent updates on the process we're going to use to lease this up, and make sure that to the extent that we can, we serve the immediate community. For those units that are for the general affordable, those folks who don't need supportive services, as well as those who do need supportive services. So it's our intent, with the support of the county Department of Mental Health, Department of Health Services, Department of Public Works, and Department of the Community Development Commission, to devote resources to this community to help this community. So to the extent that we can find folks who are unhoused and house them here from this community, that's our goal, that's our objective. As far as timing is concerned, we believe in the coming weeks we'll know more about the financing structure and the sources of funds we need to build the project. We're currently about to submit our design to the county for approval, and that is our building plans. The design has already been kind of vetted by the planning, Department of Regional Planning, so we're good to go there. We are going to start meetings with the county, who is going to be issuing bonds to support this project. It's kind of a pass-through. Complex issue, I can answer any specific questions about that later. But at the end of the day, we plan to be starting to do work at the site at the end of the year. And what that means is we will salvage the parts of the parking lot, or part of the car wash that we need to fulfill our obligations to the community. And that is we will be taking the sign down and starting the refurbishment process. And then we will be demolishing the parking lot, and we want to do that as soon as possible, because what we found is vacant structures become what they call an attractive nuisance. We don't want folks squatting or being there. As soon as we can, relocate the tenants that are currently using the site, the towing agency, the barber shop, there's an Herbalife vendor there. We will move them out, disconnect the utilities, and prepare to demolish the project. So we think that's going to take place at the end of the year. We will then work to do any kind of improvements we can while we wait for Southern California Edison to remove the power poles and the power from the site. If any of you have worked with Southern California Edison, you know that they are strapped for resources, so we kind of have to kind of dance to their tune, so to speak. So when they are able to get out there and get the poles down, then we'll be able to start going vertical on the project. What that means is grade the project, lay down the concrete footings, and then start building the 2 stories of parking. Above the 2 stories of parking will be 5 stories of residential. So it's going to be a large building that is really encouraged by county code and state programs to help build more density closer to mass transit. So we hope to enjoy synergies with the local Metro Blue Line and try to get more folks off the road, out of their cars, to walk to the Blue Line and leverage mass
That's what
transit.
they're trying to do.
So that's
The apartment complex right there.
kind of a general big picture, what we're planning to do here. Started at the end of the year. Because of the uncertainty about provision or removal and provision of power from Southern California Edison, our construction period will probably be from anywhere from 30 to 36 months, which is longer than normal. And then at the end of that construction period, we will start more aggressively making the community and the broader community aware of the availability of these units. We'll start our leasing process. We expect to lease up over a period of 4 to 6 months, and then we will kind of be stabilized and really start kind of building the community and providing the services to hopefully develop a really coherent, safe, secure community at that location. So we're really excited about the Metro. We're calling it the Metro Florence, honoring the name Florence, the sign Florence, but also proximity to the other Metro. So this is really, not really a really formal presentation. Again, this is an opportunity for me to share the status of the project, but also field any questions you have. Yes?
So you said it's 160 units? It's 160 units with 120 parking spaces?
That's correct.
Why is there so much parking if it's not required?
There is so much parking that even though we anticipate that we don't think all of the parking is going to be leveraged, our experience in other projects, even though they're transit adjacent, there is a larger demand for parking. The neighboring project, the Florence Apartments, has a parking ratio of about half a space per unit. And when we talked to the property manager there and said, well, what's your biggest challenge in operating this project? And they said, not enough parking. So right now, we could conceivably build this with a lot less parking, but I think that would have a negative impact on the community, and we would get a lot of flack from folks like you who are saying, I can't park on the street.
As it is, that's an issue. Parking is an issue
Facts.
for the community.
Yes.
That's a big issue. Parking is the big issue. And a lot of households have at least 2, but even more. 4, 5, 6, 10 cars, I don't know.
Right,
So yeah, that's
right.
an issue. So personally,
Those who live in the community understand that.
exactly. So we understand if it's 120, it sounds great. So now that I have the mic, I have a quick question.
You can have a long question. It depends on how much time we have.
So
Have to answer
a
your
dog's gonna be allowed? Pets? Do you know?
Pets will be allowed,
Imagine
but
that
it's
there will
gotta
be a little bit of
service
parking, it'll be
animal,
worse.
It's gotta be a designated service animal. There'll be a lease addendum that addresses that animal and care of the animal. If you don't play by the rules, we can't let you keep your animal.
Do you, for instance, did you mention what would be the rates? Maybe the monthly rates or so?
Monthly rents?
Around or average?
Around for the lowest price units, and those are folks who probably, for a 0-bedroom apartment that's in efficiency.
They're talking about parking, guys.
Rents would start, right now in 2023, would be about, with a utility allowance, which means that we lower the gross rent by the amount of projected utilities.
Okay,
So the rent's gonna be about $625.
okay.
But that goes up to rents that are, for that same unit, for folks that have a greater income, it's gonna be probably around $1,200. So there's a range of rent levels, depending on your income.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
What he say? $600, that's affordable.
Yes,
Just curious, is there like studios, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom? What's the?
studios, 1-bedrooms, 2-bedrooms. So we didn't find there was a huge demand when we did our market study for larger units. So we stopped at 2-bedrooms. Also, there are going to be permanent supportive housing units, and the household size for those units usually is for a 1 or a 0-bedroom unit.
Question.
Yes.
I'm guessing this is a HUD project?
Yes and no. When I say yes, is that there are project-based vouchers associated with the permanent supportive housing units that are helping folks who need supportive services that will have this. Other than that, it's really based on your income level. Folks who, and I can give you the specifics, but in general, the income eligibility levels are probably in the mid-20s for the smaller units, for smaller households, to probably $55,000 or $60,000 for larger households in a 2-bedroom.
Okay. The reason why I ask is because I know that with the HUD program, some of it is subsidized.
Yes, I mean, they're basically, the HUD programs that we use are voucher programs. Either a building has certain units that receive a voucher, so they're called project-based vouchers, or a tenant may have worked with the LACDA, the Local Housing Authority, and won a tenant-based voucher. We'll honor those as well.
Got it. So is there a nonprofit that you're partnering with?
Yes.
Is that Meta?
No, I'm with Meta Housing Corporation. We're a for-profit development shop, and we partner with a nonprofit development shop who has an expertise in housing. And then we also,
Who's that?
it's an outfit called Western Community Housing. We have a long-standing relationship with them. They are not located in this community, be clear about that, but they have an expertise in housing. And they fulfill their obligations to ensure that the project receives the welfare exemption it needs to keep rents low.
Got it. The reason is because since I see, I'm part of a housing corporation, that's why. And the reason is that I've seen many of these projects come up, but then they're not followed through because the money for some reason just runs out. So that's why I was asking.
That's a legitimate concern. We've got a long track record to which we've been successful in working with the county and other public agencies to win funding. And you put your finger on something important is you're a local housing nonprofit. You serve your community. We partner with other nonprofits to provide other services to the community. The outfit that's going to provide resident and supportive services.
He's not in charge, he's just talking about the housing.
The general population, all the population at the development, and those needing permanent supportive housing, is an outfit called HOPIX. They're the county's designated vendor that matches folks that are homeless with housing and serves the Florence Firestone community. So they know the community. Their headquarters, I believe, are within about a quarter mile of here. So we like to try to find folks who know the community and have a track record of successfully serving the community.
You said that on the
Yes.
on affordable rent, right?
Yes.
You said 2022?
Yes.
So when would your project be done?
We think it's gonna be done in 2026.
So the rent
So,
will be
rent
at
will-
26.
yeah, rent
So
will
it
go
wouldn't
up
be
to
$600 what you're
No,
estimating.
it's gonna go up by whatever, the way the rents are set set by the state based on how the
That's a good
income has
question.
increased in the county of Los Angeles. They expect you to
You
devote,
said 2022, you're
Yep.
giving them that it's gonna be affordable housing.
or 2023.
But when the market goes up and starts going up and going up, they're not gonna be affordable housing.
They'll still be, the way the rents are established, they'll still be equally as affordable based on income levels today as they will be in 2026 or 2027. So let's say your income is 50 grand. We're gonna ask you to devote 30% of 30% of your income to rent. So let's see, that goes up to, with inflation and income rises to 65 grand by the time we open it. It's still gonna be 30% of 30% of that income level. But that's how, yes, the rent will be more than today, provided that incomes continue to rise, and for all of our good fortune, I hope it does.
The 120 units of parking that you're providing for this, is that included in the rent, or are you charging additional fees for parking?
That's included in the rent. Also included, there are gonna be community spaces for our residents, and then an open, flexible space for the broader community as well.
That's nice.
So regarding the parking, what's the guarantee that it will be built with 120 parking spaces? Because you mentioned that you may not leverage all of that parking. And I mean, I think there needs to be more parking. The community needs more parking.
Right.
So what's the guarantee that all of those spaces will be used as parking?
But what Meta is very good at is winning public transit sources. So we will put together a proposal that identifies, here are the units we're gonna build, at what affordability levels, what type of unit types, what type of amenities, how much parking. So if you're the public sector and you're reviewing my application, I can't come back 2 years later and say, well, you know, I'm not gonna give you 120 units of spaces of parking, I'm gonna give you 60, and they're gonna say.
Oh, yeah, bro, appreciate that.
So, once we have our plans approved, what we're gonna build, once we want our financing, that's locked in.
Because, I mean, it's like, when you're so close to a transit center like the Blue Line, you're not even really required to have parking, right? So.
I mean, I totally agree with you, as, you know, from a philosophical standpoint, because you're so close to transit, we'd love to have no parking. But the reality is, folks are still devoted to their cars. Some folks have jobs that really aren't close to mass transit.
Thank you.
So there will be a need for cars.
We need
Cars.
parking.
Yes, we need parking.
We hope over time there won't be, but now I think it's just a reality of the community.
Yes, we need parking.
Yeah, definitely agree. Unfortunately, this is it's not the biggest community, but there's a lot of people living within the community. And we have all these hardworking people that definitely is a big factor, that we need at least close to 120 parking spots. Yes, the metro parking, that's not even enough as it is, even though it's adjacent, but it's gonna overflow within the community. And I've been living here for 40+ years, and many of you have been living longer than me, and you know that for a fact, and it's becoming a big issue. Thank
Right.
you.
And based on our experience in the other developments, we've developed over 5,000 units in the state of California, that the parking is sufficient, considering the population mix of the development.
Over here. Over here,
Okay, I got 3 questions.
Yes.
First question is, are you guys gonna have any pictures of any old landmarks from Florence Firestone area that's been torn down? 2, are you gonna have trash cans around the facility so they can put trash in it so it won't be trash all over the place? And 3, are you guys gonna accommodate the seniors? Are you gonna have any kind of low-income housing for the seniors? Because as you know, Social Security goes up and down.
Right.
So, a program, so I haven't heard anything about the seniors.
Let me try to address your questions one at a time. The first one, I believe, was, are you gonna have any pictures, photos of classic developments or architecture or landmarks from Florence Firestone.
Yeah.
We are going to be preserving the Florence sign from the car wash. We're going to be having fins from the car wash, or the fin motif from the car wash, not the actual fins. If there are other ways for us to honor Florence Firestone,
Maybe some of the people that.
I'm all
that built
ears.
it- Yeah, maybe the people that built the car wash, who started from the ground up, who's been there for years, and maybe get them honored to, having it there for years. Because there's a lot of people who look at that as history, and so it'd be good for people to go see that versus just turn it down. Leave some kind of history of the car wash in there. And some of the faces of some of the people that was in there getting their car washed.
That's, again, as I said at the beginning, we welcome anyone who shares any archive of original photos of the car wash to speak to your, we'd be happy to, put those as decorative photographs in the development to try to encourage people to understand the history of the site. Your other two questions, the last one, or the second one was.
Trash cans around the facility.
Trash
Trash cans around the facility, yeah.
I believe Department of Public Works is going to require that we do have trash receptacles in the public space area. There are trash receptacles there now. I don't know if they're maintained. The county is I haven't seen the final offsite plans, but typically Department of Public Works is going to require that we have benches and trash cans and that we service the trash cans in it. To your last point is, this is not an age-restricted project. So it's not dedicated solely to seniors that are 62 and older, but it's open to anyone. So if you income qualify, you're interested in the development, we would welcome your interest and your application for you.
Back to the parking.
Yes.
Okay, now you said it's open to anyone. Are you gonna have a stipulation on the parking because we are already overcrowded with parking? And then you're gonna bring in a completely new unit. That means you're gonna bring in new peoples.
Yes.
And new peoples brings on new and more problems. So, like in some other areas, when they have units built and stuff, they have a stipulation on the parking, so I'm coming and I have two cars and this young lady here gets off late and she don't have one car and I got both of my cars parked in there. You have some type of stipulation going to be put into that 120 parking structures.
All of the spaces in the parking structure, but for those that are dedicated for guests, are going to be designated to our residents. And insofar you have a family that has more than one vehicle, I think you raise a good question. To the extent that we can, if there's enough interest, I think we would try to encourage families that have one or no vehicles to join the. And also, we think this is appropriately parked because many of the residents who are in need of supportive housing don't own vehicles. So we think this is an appropriate amount. Sufficient increase over our neighbors who have a similar population mix. A higher percentage of Peters are.
Only right there?
It's about the same mix as
Oh, wow.
ours. But they have a parking ratio of about half.
And they could see us, right?
We have about, I think, 7 spaces. So we think it's gonna be better.
Oh, you see the front of the space?
Yeah, they see what we're seeing. That's what they see right now.
Okay.
But I think you raise a good point, a good idea, to the extent that we can encourage folks to become members of that community who have one or no cars. That's what we like to do, just to try to eliminate the risk that there's all four cars that are disrupting the school, that are disrupting.
Pretty much to add on to what Fred said, how can we be sure that management is gonna be, keeping a tight ship, not like the other building that's been, lacking that leadership. Also, would we be able to include Bill's Burgers? It was a burger joint that was connected to the car wash. Is there any way that we can bring some of that back or offer it to the community, as a space, so that way it's, some, remembrance of the car wash itself?
I listened.
Because those chili cheese fries, I mean, I still think about them.
Reminiscing about Bill's Burgers, but let me answer the second piece of the question, and the answer is no. We're not planning to bring Bill's back. We really don't have the space. I hear anecdotal demand for it, but we don't have enough demand to do the improvements and
Bring it back.
to install the grease trap, the fence to go all the way to the top of the roof. So I wish we could, but we can't. And to the first question is, how do you hold ownership accountable for managing the project well? And I think by making sure that folks like me who launching the project, asset managers, get involved in the project, is encourage them to come to meetings like this. So we can hear firsthand.
You ain't lying, my boy.
What are you thinking about? What's going on with the project? How are things doing? And also encourage you folks that convene your meetings in the public space here, so you can keep an eye on the project and see how things are doing. We want to get your feedback.
So somebody from this community would be eligible to be property management, so that way they would be a little bit more pride since they're coming from the community themselves?
I think part of what we want to do is develop a sense of community in the development. And it's not always successful, but projects in which you do invest a little more resources up front to develop a sense of community and a sense of ownership, you can get a better deal. But at the end of the day, there's no guarantee that's going to happen. You guys need to continue to keep your eyes on it and make sure that I stay engaged, my company stays engaged. There's also going to be a lot of public eyes on the project. The county housing authority will have 72 units a day regulate, day visit. They also are investing $7 million in the project. The state is investing $70 million in the project.
Still talking about the chili
We're
cheese
governed
fries.
by regulatory agreements, all those agencies that specify
I
how
want
we
to ship back
manage
the
the
chili cheese
project,
fries.
how many replacement
I swear to
reserves we
God.
set aside
I
for
want to ship back the chili cheese fries.
improvements to the project, et cetera.
You're right. Oh, yeah.
But I'm committed to continue coming to these meetings. This is no sprint, it's a marathon. I want to keep getting your feedback, keep you guys apprised of what we're doing. To the extent that we can incorporate suggestions, improvements, we'll do it. I really appreciate letting me go into overtime. I see that.
Last two.
Will you be having, what is it, I know that the organization that I belong to, we're aiming to transition from people
She
from
doesn't
low
even live
income
here,
or
bro.
whatever income
I didn't park.
projects.
She doesn't live here though.
Home ownership. Are
Crazy.
you looking into
We
something?
don't have a program like that, but the county of Los Angeles does. And we think there's an interest, or there are expressions of interest from our residents. We'll make sure our resident services coordinators are
Right
going.
now, it's live. It's going to be live. Once I read it, it goes into the YouTube channel.
Or will there be any money coming into Florence Firestone? Yeah. From the money that is received from those properties? Or no?
Oh, from this.
Let's say the renting,
So, basically, the rents are set and established by the state of California. And then the voucher rents, the Hudson Board is managed by the county. So, and then the income is generated by the project supports the expenses for operating the project.
No, he works for the company
And
that's
what
thinking about doing the
mortgage
property,
we
guys.
support,
Look, I'll show you guys. That's the Florence car wash right there, guys. That's the old car wash. They're trying to build that. The old car wash, guys, right here on Florence and May, next to the metro.
No, it is nice, I'm not gonna deny that. It looks kind of similar to the one that's adjacent, but I was just wondering if there was gonna be funds coming within the community, so no.
Well, There's another component that I referenced earlier that we're still waiting to find approval. It's about $13 million to
No, I think it's different companies that are gonna build this project together. This is the stooge they sent over here to talk about it, the project. The good thing I'm gonna tell you guys, they're keeping that flooring sign. They say they're gonna talk about putting that flooring sign is right there. They're gonna go restructure it and everything and put it back in that building, so they're gonna be
Well,
doing
the grant we're pursuing for this public works is within the 1 mile radius. With this it's, yes. So we're not going out to raise money to make improvements somewhere else. I really appreciate you guys letting me go in overtime.
Thank you.
Alexandra, and look forward to coming back and becoming a more regular presence.
Thank you.
Ken. All right, everyone, it's 6:24, round of applause.
Please stick around after the meeting if you've got more questions or want to share.
All right, everyone, let's welcome Ari de Chalice, Graffiti and Abatement. Give her a round of applause.
Substance abuse prevention and resources for the community.
Sound?
Gotcha. I'm checking with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You said it here?
Unplug that. It's not on? Oh, okay.
They're on your they're just like they're driving. Turn it off.
Yeah, so she can connect.
So puede con
She's right there, right there. See if you get to it.
You could like connect it in. Connect it.
Each year, more than 100,000 graffiti tags are removed from Los Angeles County unincorporated areas and flood control rights of way. LA County remains committed to creating safe and resilient communities for all.
That is why the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors and Public Works established a graffiti abatement program that focuses on timely graffiti removal, creating sustainable communities, and using
If you see graffiti in a flood control channel or unincorporated community, you can report it quickly and if you choose
Visit the graffiti abatement website at www.lacounty.gov/go/graffiti and provide details about in a railroad right of way or on a freeway. The abatement website includes information on how you can report it to the proper authority.
If you prefer to use a telephone, you can report graffiti by calling the county's 24-hour dispatch center at 800-675-4357. You can also report graffiti conveniently through your mobile device via the Works app.
To report using the words, open the app, select report, and enter the intersection or address. Click next, or you can continue using the app to report other issues in your community, like illegal dumping or traffic hazards.
to request graffiti removal, click on graffiti, and provide specific details and even upload a photo. Click Done, then Submit. Your request goes straight to LA County Public Works Graffiti Abatement Team, who will remove the graffiti within 72 hours.
Remember, both sides. Do not leave. You could be putting yourself in harm's
It's live.
Instead, go to a secure location and notify local law enforcement.
Thanks for doing your
Why
part
don't you see my
in
channel?
keeping LA County safe and resilient.
I'm like,
Hi, good evening,
I
everyone.
mean,
My name is
follow me
Laurie.
on
I'm
TikTok.
from LA County Public Works. I head the graffiti
This is my
abatement program, so
Instagram.
that's our program. We strive to have the graffiti removed 72 hours upon
This is my
notification.
Instagram.
So Florence Firestone is one of our areas that we oversee the graffiti removal, and we try very hard to get it down as soon as possible. But I want to be frank with you, and I want to be transparent with you. We just started a new contract this May 1st, and the new contractor that came on board has been performing below our expectations, below, like we give them a money, we say, we're not gonna tell you how many people you need to have. You need to you decide how many people you put in the street, how many crews you put in the street to take care of all the graffiti removal. And so the contract that started on May 1st, this contractor bid very, very low for this area. This is a 5-day contract, and so in the beginning, in May, like all the month of May, he was not performing very well. I don't know if you were driving the streets in Florence, on Firestone, on Compton, in May, on Hoover, and seeing like graffiti staying up just a little bit longer. That's what we were experiencing. We were very frustrated with him. I have a new person that oversees the program, and we've been meeting with the contractor weekly, trying to bring him into compliance. And so, thank goodness, the very forceful boss that was sitting this contractor down and saying, okay, here are the numbers, and here's what we can do to impose liquidated damages on you if you're not performing to the standard of what's required for this contract. So we've finally gotten to a point with him where he's in compliance. But just driving over here, I was disturbed, and I was seeing graffiti, and I'm like, I need to report that. Hey, I'm stopping, and so this is our video, right? So this is the Works app. So if you don't have the Works app, the Works app like only used to be used for graffiti, but now there's so many other things. If you have illegal dumping, you see illegal dumping, you see a pothole, you have a flood emergency, whatever the issue is, you can report it on the Works app. This is really a tool that's just, you really would like it if you used it, but you don't have to use that. A lot of people don't like, I hate when people say, oh, go to our website. I don't want to go to your website. I want to call. And this is the number to our radio room. So this is our graffiti hotline, but for Public Works, okay, so Florence Firestone is a county unincorporated area. Public Works, County Public Works is required to provide all the municipal services for Florence Firestone. That means the potholes, the illegal dumping, whatever the issue is, the municipal, there's a traffic signal down, there's a stop sign down, there's whatever the case, the street services are our responsibility. So when I say this is the graffiti hotline, this is actually the what we call the helpline. So it's 675-4357. It's the word help, 4357 help. So it's to our radio room. And so this is our 24-hour. This is the people that there's a warm body there 24 hours a day. They answer the phone no matter what, because there's a lot of bartenders getting home at 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, there's graffiti there. Let me call it in. There's a warm body here to answer the phone at our hotline. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And like I said, it is to our second floor dispatch for all the municipal services. So even if like somebody comes tonight and you have a question about a service that Public Works provides, you can just call this number, and everybody that works in dispatch knows everything that Public Works does. So like I said, Florence Firestone, unincorporated area. Even if the developer wanted to call and say, I need to talk to someone about Public Works because this constituent had a question about, he can call and say, how do I find out about it? They've given the number to LA County Housing Authority. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, and if you don't remember the our 800 number, 67, all you have to do is remember 675, because then it's the word help. And we're here to help you. And we care about Florence Firestone. We love this area. I've overseen the graffiti for the last 17 years. It's my duty, and I'm paid to do. I'm paid to care, but I care beyond that. Okay, because it's my responsibility to make sure that this area has the least amount of graffiti possible. And I know I've seen areas tonight where I saw a cross out on the way here, and it unnerves me, and I reported it, and that's what we do. So the contract manager, so she's kind of the contract monitor that oversees the work of the contractor that does the graffiti removal here. Her name is Elvira. We are all transparent. If I email you, you have my cell phone on the email on the signature block. I want you to call me. I don't care if you text me at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, all right, there's graffiti on 60 or 59th place, and I don't care. I'm going to get to it. I'm going to answer you in the morning. I'm going to say, it's been sent to the contractor. Thank you for reporting, because that's how we operate. So I'm going to leave some of my business cards here. You can share my email. You can share my phone number, and everybody share the 800 number. Behind me? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, we have the PowerPoint too, huh? So, yeah, the number's there. You guys, anybody wants my email, anyone wants to talk to me about graffiti or the graffiti abatement program, we used to have an educational program back in the day. We went to the schools. We would call all the schools in our county unincorporated areas, because we were trying to prevent
Any numbers to report
getting into
crime?
doing tagging, getting into because it's a bad life path, right? And this is how they jump the kids into the gangs. They say, hey, do this for me, and then it escalates to other things that they could do to jump into a gang. And so we used to go to the schools. We even had a rap song written for us, and we would play it for the kids, and so we don't do the educational program anymore. We did it for about 7 years, from 2012 to 2019, and then when COVID started, and the kids, I feel so sorry for the kids. Their timetable is so, they're so, like, every single 45 minutes they have a different subject, and it's super tight, and they're like, oh, our rubric doesn't allow for somebody from the outside to come in. When we would call the schools and ask them, please, we want to tell the kids, these are the consequences, these are the things that could happen to a youth if they get involved in tagging. They could have time at juvenile hall. They could have to pay restitution. They could have their driver's license, delayed, obtaining their driver's license. We used to say to the kids, who in here wants their driver's license? And all the kids go, yeah, we want it. And we'd say, well, the judge has the right to delay you getting your driver's license if you're caught tagging. So, we had fun with the kids and stuff. It's not something we do. We do it by only by if a school calls us and says, hey, we have taggers here, and can you come and talk to the kids about the consequences of tagging? So normally we just go to community meetings and say, hey, we're here. We remove graffiti in all the flood control right away and all of the county unincorporated areas in the county. And there's like 120 of them. But Florence Firestone is near and dear to us. We love this community, we support this community, and Elvira, when she's here, the contract manager, when she's here, you know, she doesn't just report graffiti. If she sees the shoe, we call it, you know, when they tie the shoes and throw them on the lines, the power lines. So we call that shoe feedy. I don't know if you know that word, but I'm gonna teach you that word right now. It's called shoe feedy. And so we call it in to Edison because Edison has an 800 number, and we call it in because that is tied to gangs, that kind of designates, hey, there's drugs here. If you want drugs, you know, they're here. And so that's something that we report. Elvira, when she's here patrolling, she's here 3 days a week, she reports the potholes. And I saw shoe feeding on the way here, and I was like, ooh, Elvira, tell me you reported that to Edison, because that's her job to me. That's how she stays accountable, is that she reports everything. You know, when the sheriff says, see something, say something, like if I know someone at Public Works handles a particular thing, it's my duty and my responsibility. When I'm here, I see it, I report it to that person at Public Works. Email, mostly do everything in email so it's in writing. So that's what I have for you. I just want you to know we're here for you. I'm gonna leave my business card. Any of you can email me anytime. Call the 800 number. You can even call us 800 number and say, I saw Ari at a community meeting. Can I talk to her, please? I'm the only Ari out of 4,000 employees at Public Works. I'm the one. This is my program. I love it. I believe in it. And I'm here to serve you. Thank you.
All right, everyone, so this is the information for Ari and the ways to report graffiti. You guys want to write this down?
You guys see the
or
sign
take a
there?
picture?
Report graffiti with this one, guys. Look, this is a number. Public Works. She says somebody's always sitting down. Report this. It said graffiti. Florence Firestone District, guys.
Mine is quick, guys.
Pamela?
My name's Pamela Manning, and I think I was introduced a couple of months ago at Don Lemonade and down from LA County Public Works. And I'm your representative, your liaison back to Public Works. So anytime that you want or have an interest in something that's going on, I can always bring to you the subject matter expert. And today we had originally talked about having road maintenance, and road maintenance folks are out there in the roads, and they just couldn't pull it together. And my dear friend Ari, who said, absolutely, I want to come out there and talk about graffiti. You can see how passionate she is, and she's one of the many people at Public Works that are very, very passionate about their job. Oh, yes, yes. She's like, chit chat, be gone, talk about the map. Okay, to the point. So what is this? What are we looking at? This is a weird little map. It was a screenshot that I got today, and some of you are probably going to recognize locations. You may even live in a couple of these blocks, right? So you're going to see, thank you. You're going to see some dots. What the dots are part of a program that we have at Public Works called a dumpster pilot, where we see pop-ups of RVs, where we see pop-ups of encampments. What happens is the people that are experiencing homelessness don't have the receptacle that the gentleman in the back said, what are you going to do about putting trash cans around a new development, right? So I'm homeless. I drove by somebody and I forgot what street it was. I believe it was Hooper, and I looked around and I kept looking. So she looks for graffiti. I look for RVs. We got to get better jobs. I looked for RVs and encampments, and I didn't see as many when I was coming over, but I did see one person on the left side of the street on the east side going down Hooper, and there was trash strewn about. And it was, I mean, I could tell what they had for dinner, for breakfast, for lunch for the last 3 weeks. Is it 100% on them? I'm not here to be judgmental, but the reality is they need a trash can. So what we do is when you have then a cluster of that, you get a cluster of trash. So what we do is we have contracts with dumpsters, with waste haulers, right? Say what you will about the waste haulers, but they'll at least do this for us. They will put dumpsters in locations where we've identified hotspots, and these are areas where we have put those dumpsters. So SD2, which is the supervisorial district that you're in, is new for me. So what I do is I listen to what you tell me, and I'm not gonna just think and imagine that this is where they're supposed to go. I want you to tell me. You can tell me in writing. I can leave a couple of these exact looking maps with locations on them. You can scribble them. I don't care, write it with lipstick. I don't care how you write it, but just let me know or email me where you think those dumpsters should go, and I will get them there. Any questions about that? The dumpsters don't stay permanently. They are there for as long as the issue, the concern for the trash is there, and then we pick them up and we move them around again. And we move them around within your district, within your area. So this one's a little bit older, and the gentleman who put this together was going to update today, but he didn't get around to it. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dumpster locations here, and he said that there's probably more, but they're moving them around as we speak.
So they could really
So
replace
if you see
them.
dumpsters randomly sitting out there, you're wondering where they come from. It came from Public Works. But again, I can only put them out there where I'm doing a drive-by, or where my graffiti folks are doing a drive-by, or where my road maintenance. If you think they should be someplace where more specifically, raise your hand, call me, email me, pmanning@pw.lacounty.gov, text me at 626-390-2874, and say at the corner of Walk and Don't Walk, we have a problem. Yes, ma'am.
Well, so a lot of times what happens with the RVs is that they're actually not operable, and that the RVs stay there for quite a long time. So that means the problem stays there. So if the dumpsters are being rotated throughout the community, I guess, like, when can they cycle back? Because that means the problem of trash being on the street would come back if the dumpster goes elsewhere.
So when I say not permanent, I mean they're sort of semi-permanent. To your point, if there's a big encampment or a big trail of RVs, like there is more like in the West Athens area, you don't have what they have there. Or at least I haven't seen it here like they have it there. It's like 3 and 4 city blocks long on the same street. Then the dumpsters will stay for as long as the trash is filled. Once we start seeing the trash go away, then we move the dumpster. So if as long as the trash is full, we go pick it up, it stays. When the trash starts getting lower and lower and lower, because maybe the people in the RV are being rehoused, maybe the people in the tents are finding new housing, then the demand, right, for that dumpster is no longer there. But we're not gonna have trash to the top and they go, oh, your 7th day is up and here we go. We're not doing that. As long as there's a need, as long as there's a demand, then we'll put it there. Now, I will give you a heads up. There's no stoves, there's no refrigerators that they're dumping out of an RV. So once the community starts misusing that dumpster for their own illegal dumping, that becomes a problem. So it's supposed to be for trash, for rubbish, for the day-to-day stuff, right? Yes, ma'am.
I work in downtown Los Angeles, so a lot of, some of the city blocks are blocked off because their public works is going in there. They remove the homeless encampments and they scrub them down and do all that. Is that a project that's coming to this area anytime soon?
So when you say downtown Los Angeles, you're definitely talking about the city of Los Angeles, right? So we have 2 different, pardon?
You said from the left to downtown.
From where to downtown?
Left.
Oh, Slauson, yes, Slauson. Yes, so we have different schedules of how we approach our people experiencing homeless. And our host team, right, I think that you've had the sheriff's department out and their host team, remind me, we say host all the time, but I forgot what host stands for now. Homeless operation.
Well, the CEO has a homeless initiative project. We currently have a running list of encampments that are ready for pickup. So if there's any specific street you're inquiring about, you can definitely talk to us often. There's a lot.
There's a lot, but so for example, I did drive down and I saw about 5 or 6 RVs on Compton. And I was driving, and I was like, huh. I actually parked, pulled over, and just looked and watched and looked, and so I'm sure I freaked out some guy who was in his car in front of me. But anyways, cut to, it was relatively clean. I was surprised. I was almost shocked. I don't know what they're doing with their trash, but they're not putting it in the street. It wasn't in the gutters. It wasn't on the sidewalks. So in that situation, I've got 5 RVs, but no trash. Now, your tent encampments, but that's a different issue. The shoulder shrug comes from but what about the RV? We don't want the RV there. That's a different ball of wax. I'm talking about this particular symptom, not the systemic problem. Yes, ma'am.
So I did the shoulder shrug because, for instance, I know what she's talking about, because we have a lot of streets close to the blue line. We have Lennon Street Elementary School, Randolph. You have sidewalks, you cannot even walk through there. You have to actually literally walk on the street. And this has been happening for, I want to say years by now. This has been happening for years. You see trash where even cars at times can't even pass by. They're being blocked or even on the sidewalk. And to be honest, our community, that's what it's turning into trash, pretty much. So when you mention about Compton Avenue, that is very clean and there's nothing on the sidewalk, to be honest, I'm very surprised because it's probably one of the few that we have seen. And I'm pretty sure if you ask anyone within here, that's here, they'll let you know that, what I'm saying is true.
Go on to the app, get the works app.
No, I have it. Trust me, I take pictures here and there, but to be honest, it's not enough. And I might show you what they answer or what they reply to me. Because even like, for instance, there's a borderline that we're from HP to Florence Firestone. We're talking about Randolph.
Okay.
You look at the rubber truck, I know that's part of Union Pacific or BNSF, but you look at that side of town, it's super clean. It's rare. But you look at this side of town, once you hit Alameda, what the hell is that? To be honest, because it's our taxpayer money that's being received. And I feel at one point, we need mayor or district representative, which is Holly, or more of the workers in the community, go and do actual walks within the community. See our border lines, how it looks. I understand we're adjacent to LA, but hey, we also deserve a clean community as well. Safe community as well. And this has been happening for years. This is not yesterday, during COVID, even before COVID. It just has become very expensive.
Right.
And there's no solution.
You're right. What we don't want is for it to become extensively accepted, right? We don't want, because the broken glass theory. You leave a broken glass, you leave a window open and it's broken, it stays broken. Everyone starts accepting that that's okay.
Yeah.
And it's not okay.
And I understand people have a story because you never know. You might fall into those footsteps as well.
Right.
And it's a very sensitive issue as well.
Right.
But but we need to be safe and be able to walk within our community, and also because it's hazardous too.
If you have that spot for what I'm talking about, please email me and
Yes,
send me
I
a
will.
picture. Even if you don't go through the works app, you just take a picture and be like, you
Here
can
it is.
send this to you.
No,
All right?
I will. Trust me. I will.
Yeah, please do. All right. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
In the past, there was some talk about raising our taxes, property taxes, to kind of compensate Republic Trash for picking up the trash. Is that something that's still going on out there?
I'm not familiar with that, about
Probably
raising
about a year ago or so.
taxes. Before LA County ever, you correct me if I'm wrong, if I misspeak, before we ever talk about raising your taxes, it is a long conversation. It is not one of those, it's up on the board agenda the day of and you didn't know anything about it, or you were on vacation and you didn't know. We don't do that. I've been part of a tax levying situation for Measure W. We start a year or two in advance doing rigorous outreach. There is no way on earth, if we were bringing your taxes for waste hauling or waste management, that you would not know about it.
Yeah, because our property taxes, actually, we pay for the trash disposal through the taxes, right?
Right.
So, I'm just curious, because that's something that was talked about in the past, the Republic.
Yeah.
And also, another thing where, why are they locking the trash receptacles down Compton and the ones on Florence? Is that something that's necessary to be done?
Why are they locking them?
Yeah, they're putting locks on the actual trash cans where people can put bigger items in there, so whatever gets fit in that little small spot.
Yeah.
My thing is that I see, I'm right in the front. I own a business across the street.
Right.
And I see this all day, like all the trash receptacles around there, they have locks. So a lot of people are accustomed to stop and put trash inside the trash cans, which is good, instead of dumping them outside in the street.
Sure.
So some people just leave them outside because they notice that the things are locked. You know, so I get it where they don't want the trash recyclables to be full, but the reality is that it makes more of a mess because they leave the items outside the trash can. And what happens, people go through them or people kick them, so now we got trash all over the streets.
So you may contact trash at PW, like the same address, my email address, trash@pw.lacounty.gov. Ask them that question. What they're probably going to tell you is that those, if they're larger containers, those are commercial. Those are for commercial haulers, and so the people that have the responsibility for putting their trash in there, that they're the ones putting the locks on. So for example, if it was your business and you have that dumpster, you can put the lock onto your dumpster so other people can't then use your trash can that you're paying for. So that's kind of up to you, and then I can't make you take the lock off of your dumpster. What you're saying makes good sense, but then that's kind of more what my gentleman in the back was saying. Again, I'm gonna go back to the development is, and I think where you went with the trash is, yes, we do require trash receptacles, Public Works does, but I think this gentleman was talking about here, right?
Yeah, small.
Smaller, like 55 gallon, right? And oftentimes those are put out by business districts. So a bunch of businesses would get together and, you know, self-fee, and have maybe like the $25 a month or whatever, and then they assume the amass maybe $10,000 a year. What are they going to do with that? They may put together a contract for this small business district, and they go, we want to have these little trash cans, and we want someone coming through all the time because we don't want to see a stitch of rubbish on the ground. That's what the business.
It's something I talked about in the past, prior to COVID. I brought it up where I could actually give funding to the county to get more trash cans, at least around my area. I don't mind giving it $10,000-$20,000 because it actually benefits me because I have to pick up the trash. I'm sorry?
Are you adopting?
Yes.
Okay, just if you're adopting, you got money like that to throw.
No, so I think it's beneficial for me because I save a lot more money.
Yes.
I have to get more employees to help me clean up the streets. I take care of my streets, at least my area, my circle.
You can always ask for an extra dumpster. You can always ask.
But I'm talking about the sidewalk though. People throwing their trash on the sidewalk.
Right, I would go back to, send it to that same email and say, I'm interested in the following, or I can give you the gentleman's name who does commercial waste hauling. His name is Clark Atwani. Yes, and if you emailed him and said, he would be delighted to hear you say that. Nobody makes that request. You're being oddball.
I guess if you want, curious to know, like, how can we get more, I think, like, the conversation was revolved around, like, commercial trash, but, like, how can we get more, like, small trash receptacles throughout the community? So, you know, maybe if someone's not necessarily in the business district, or maybe, like, in a park, where there are, you know, trash cans, but, like, throughout the community, like, how can we get small trash cans placed so people aren't just dumping their, you know, maybe their to-go containers or whatever, like in the gutters, or because I feel like the trash cans are so far and few between if you're not in like these specific areas, but it's still a big community and there's still like trash throughout or places to just like people are walking. So how can we request or like, you know, advocate for that?
That's a good question for our trash people. I suspect what they're going to say is we do commercial trash and we do residential trash. And then there's this business trash in between. Either it would fall into the commercial, and you would have the people on the same block go, okay, I want to ask for 2 or 3 extra cans, 55-gallon can like these, right? The ones you put on the backside of your house. I want to pay for, a business wants to pay for a couple to put here and here. And he's like, these are my cans. I put these out so that I want this part of the block that I belong to be clean all the time. That would need to be a concerted effort. If you want to, as an individual, do that, you can do that. It will cost you more.
Yeah.
But then, are you willing to put your trash can out on the street for people as they're walking by? And usually, that situation that you're describing is usually in a business area. They're walking from McDonald's or they're walking from King Taco to here. They're not usually walking in the residentials because usually residentials aren't going to do that. Excellent question. Trash at LA County. At pw.lacounty.gov.
Do you know if like Public Works allocates any funding to support businesses in this effort? Because not every business can necessarily afford to request to add like those bins or to like be able to add them. So like for the businesses that maybe want it but can't afford that expense, like do you know if the trash department or public works in general, like, provides any support for businesses like that?
The short answer is no, I don't have the knowledge of that fact. However, there's another department, DCBA.
The Department of Economic Opportunity.
Thank you. The Department of Economic Opportunity. I don't know what I did. The Department of Economic Opportunity, go there. They may have some granting, or they may have better ideas about how to get done what we're talking about getting done. How to pool resources that may already be existing, and where there might be grants for smaller local businesses for this type of thing. And then you tie that grant to maybe safe, clean water. Wait, let me go back then. So Measure W is about safe, clean water. Anything that you can keep from going into our catch basins, like on the street, trash, rubbish, you know what catch basins are, there's the holes in between the sidewalk and the street. If you keep trash from going there, you keep it from going to the ocean. So if you applied for a grant to help keep debris off the street, that would be your nexus to maybe apply for Measure W money. Does that make sense? Okay, so you kind of got to make the connections. This goes to water. I want to prevent this, so can I get like $5,000 a year to do this, to set up these trash receptacles? Good question, excellent question. Anybody else? Okay, thank you so much for letting me be of service to you.
I'm waiting for the sheriff, guys. I want the sheriff to talk.
All right, everyone. Before we have our next speaker come in, which is going to be the sheriffs and the CHP on Zoom. Our next meeting is going to be on August 9th. So you guys have your schedule. Also, the next food giveaway is going to be on the 22nd. So save the date. We also have a mental health class every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Tenemos clases de salud mental cada miércoles de 9 a.m. a 10 a.m. Tenemos clases también de víctimas de violencia, victims of violence. Cada martes, every Tuesday, de 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., 10 a.m. a 12 p.m. Like tejido. So there's knitting right after that class. De 12 p.m. a 1 p.m., 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. at the organization, the Florence Firestone Community Organization. We also have.
So I want to go ahead and invite everybody to my program. So it's a self-sufficient program. It's not NA, it's not AA. I always get these questions: is it for people that are abusing drugs? The answer is yes and no. So it's for everybody, just like that way you can get some more information. It's all about education. So the more you know, the better you'll do. And the whole point of the program is to get to people before they're in jail or they're at Skid Row. So my background is I've worked inside MCJ and the federal prison, and I've worked at Skid Row. It's too late when they're out there. I'd rather get to people when they're in my community and let them know, hey, there's other resources, other information, other options. I'm not telling you to stop, I'm just telling you there's other stuff out there for you to do. So if you can, Tuesday, 5:30 to 6:30, it's a great conversation, not just because I teach it, but we're here next door at 6940. Everybody's welcome, and we also eat afterwards, so it gets good, you know, free food.
Is that on Zoom too?
We're trying to work on Zoom, so yeah, once we have the Zoom links, we'll definitely connect. But if you can, come in person, bring a friend.
I'm there.
We're here.
I'm there.
Yeah.
I like that.
We see that.
I'm there.
Great, thank you, Sammy.
Yeah.
My YouTube's gonna be the
So we're also gonna have National Night Out. It's gonna be on August 1st from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Check it out,
The
guys.
sheriff and the
This is what we're gonna
CHP
be
will
at, guys, right
there.
here, man.
That's
We'll
their
tap in
event.
with this right here, man. Drug
So
prevention.
we'll see you guys there.
Check it out. Community
Also,
engagement,
we have an annual
resources.
community gospel
all that
fest,
good.
and we have.
All right, you guys, so this is the first gospel fest in the area. I'm gonna do it for Florence Firestone community. You guys all come out. Nobody's ever done it, so I'm gonna make it happen. I got some good barbecue, good tacos, smoked turkey legs, turkey bacon. And so you guys come out, enjoy the vendors, free food resources, got entertainment, I'll be DJing. So you guys come out. This for you guys. This for you guys in the area. It's never been done. Let's get it done. Look for more vendors. Food vendors and resource vendors. There's nothing wrong with the board. guys want something, give me a call.
Did you say vendors? Okay.
Be a vendor?
No. I support my street vendors. I like that. That's good information. This is what it is right here.
Okay, so en español es un festival de foros.
Guys, this is what it is right here. If you're a street vendor, tap in with my boy.
Si tienen
Check it out.
preguntas, me pueden llamar a mí, a Alex. Ahí está mi número en el flyer, en español, si tienen preguntas. Y una vez más, tienen preguntas de cualquier flyer que puso ahorita allá arriba.
July
So
29.
everything's good? Okay, everyone.
Pretty cool.
So now we're gonna get started with Zoom. Asia. And Wendy, are you in Zoom? Hello. Deputy Wendy Gonzalez from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department.
Hi, Alex, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Hi, everyone. My name is Deputy Gonzalez from Century Sheriff Station.
What's her badge number?
And I'm here today to via Zoom to answer questions that you may have. I have the stats for the month of June as well, and an announcement that I have for you today. The stats for the month of June, we had 2 homicides, 2 rapes, 1 of aggravated assault, 15 robberies, 55 thefts, 40 auto theft, and 1 arson, and and that's it. That was for the month of May. For the month of July, I have until July the 10th, and it shows 0 homicides, 0 rapes, 1 aggravated assault, 1 robbery, and 0 theft, and 2 auto theft, and 0 arson. For the announcements that I have, we are having a prayer breakfast at the station, July 20th, from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And everyone is invited. And that's all I have.
I'm going.
Sounds good. Thank you, Wendy. Does anyone have any questions for the Los Angeles, for Wendy Gonzalez?
Yes. That was yes. My big question will be is, what's the big reason why you're not here present? If you as a community want to hear you in person instead of being on the Zoom. I think it's very important that if you want to connect with the community, if you want to come connection with the people, you got to show your presence. And I hope that you're watching me here on stream, because I'm pretty sure you're going to be at this community prayer breakfast, and I'm going to go there. And I hope I see you there, and I'm going to ask you the same question. What was so important today that you cannot come to the community meeting when all these people here are in the community meeting in the Florence Fire District?
I just want to add also, so everyone, also let's be a little bit more respectful when it comes to our guest speakers. We do want them to come back. So let's be respectful.
Just a question.
Thank you.
Just a question.
Hi, Wendy. Is it possible that you share your?
Did you have a question? Because I didn't understand anything he said.
That what was the reason why? What was the reason why you did not come to the meeting today to represent the sheriff department in this meeting, in this community meeting? What was the so important today that you had to do that you cannot take a few times from your taxpayer dollars that we pay you for you to come to the community meeting? What was so important that you cannot come to the meeting? That's my question to you. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So the reason why I'm not there in person is because we have other meetings that are scheduled. So instead of missing the meeting, I opted to go via Zoom so that I can answer any questions that I have. That's it. I'm here, but I'm not in person.
Next question.
Yes, thank you. We're looking forward to seeing you, Wendy. But if possible, can you share your contact info, your email, or where we could reach you?
I'm sorry, I can't understand what you're saying.
If you can share your contact info, where we can reach you.
Of course.
We'll let her answer the
Officer Gonzalez listed the statistics for May and for part of July. Did she have the statistics? Officer Gonzalez listed the statistics for May and portion of July. Does she have June statistics available? So we can kind of compare what May is versus June?
See what I talk about?
Yeah.
This is the problem. It's crazy.
Wendy, yeah. Did you hear this man's question, Wendy?
What was the question?
That why was there missing information? Why do we only have info for May and July and not June?
No, it was from June to July 10th.
June to the, oh, so we're missing May.
No.
Oh.
I gave you, what kind of information are you talking about? The information I just gave you?
Yes, what dates did it start and what days did it finish?
I gave you for June and July.
June and July, okay, thank you.
I'm sorry.
And then her info, we'll be blasting it on the big screen right now. So thank you, Wendy.
Okay.
Oh, next question.
This is a Karen right, guys. This girl right here is a Karen.
Yeah, the question is there any reporting done with hate crimes within the community lately?
Hate crime reports.
Hate crime reports. I don't have any reports on that.
Any questions? Yeah, no hate crime, right?
I don't have any of that information.
Okay, thank you.
That's why we need her in person.
That's why I
We
couldn't
have
speak
one
up.
more in the back.
That's why I go live, you know, that's the reason. So they could understand, these are dollars.
Yeah, Wendy, how's it going? Is there any update with the street takeovers and how you guys are trying to slow that down and stop them from blocking intersections where people can't go home?
Great question. Great question.
Is there any? Yeah. Is there any update on the street takeovers? Is there any way that you are slowing it down, or what is being done to stop the street blockage?
For that, I believe CHP has stats for that.
Okay. We'll wait for CHP then. Any other questions to the sheriff? Wendy?
What's her badge number by any chance?
What is your badge number?
Can I know your badge number, please?
I'm sorry, what was the question? What number?
Badge number.
My batch number?
Yes.
1701.
Thank you. Polly, 1701, Polly.
Thank you, Wendy.
1701, Polly.
All right, everyone, let's give Wendy a round of applause. Thank you, Wendy. Now we're gonna do the CHP. Angelia Gonzalez.
Angelia Gonzalez.
Everybody give her a round of applause, please.
Hi, everyone. So sorry I couldn't make it in person as well. Like Wendy mentioned, unfortunately, sometimes and being the only person in a community outreach team right now, sometimes it's almost nearly impossible to get to every single thing. So I apologize, and I'm hoping to be present at the following meeting. With that being said, I just want to, again, thank you for your guys' time. I do have some stats on street racing. Unfortunately, here are the numbers from July to now, and then also numbers from 2019 until now. But before I get into that, I just want everyone to be aware that we do still have our car seat installations taking place here at our office. And then we are still heavily recruiting. We're hoping to have our explorers there at our national night out, along with, I'm sure, the deputies explorers as well. And we're still looking for officers to, represent a part of our team. And so, if there's anyone that you have in mind that can be mentored or think, that would be great candidates, we're all ears. I'm here to listen. I'm here to assist them throughout the process. And then also, I can be reached to our Instagram page as well. I will go ahead and type that in, and then I did provide some information that I know a few people were asking in regards to ID numbers. The address, our public dispatch line, which is our non-emergency line, which is great for anything that you don't think is necessarily an emergency, but you'd still like to report it. I'll put all the information in the chat as well. We can go ahead and get into the stats, and just know, as I've explained before, that oftentimes it does take a little while for us to gather the resources necessary to combat the takeovers and sideshows, especially if they're in large groups, or large numbers, I should say. With that being said, I have, give me 1 second. So from 2019 to 2023, there's been 283 enforcement operations. 5,400 citations were issued for takeovers and sideshows and street racing included. There was 1,062 arrests made that were both felony and misdemeanor, as well as 1,293 vehicles that were impounded or stored. And then there's over 130 vehicles that were seized for 30 days. Now, in South LA alone, there are numerous arrests being made for the takeovers. And if we look at monthly, South LA alone arrests approximately 20 takeover participants a month. And those stats are just from operations. They don't include what our South LA officers do on a daily. And that would be in regards to the officers that are just out on regular patrol. So we encourage you to still contact us if there is any activity that's going on in your area. And we just ask you to continue being a good witness and providing whatever detailed information that you can to assist us. From January to July, the stats are as follows. 1,113 citations. The arrests include 196. Impound and stored vehicles, 159. Of those particular deployments, about 4 vehicles were recovered stolen, and then there were 2 DUI arrests as well. But what I do want you guys to know is we can't do our job without your help. So we do encourage you to keep giving us a call and keep contacting us with any information that you have to assist us. So that way we can make sure that we're going out along with the, Century Department and other departments who we've been fortunate enough to work with and to assist in combating and hopefully eradicating this one day. That's what I have for street racing. We do still have our traffic complaint or traffic concern system that is implemented at our office. So if there's anything that you would like us to address, you could either give the information to Alexandra or Metro Canonas, and then they can send it over to me, at least for problematic areas. Or you guys are more than welcome to contact me via email or even my phone. I know some have already reached out to the office, and I can actually take a look at those specific locations, like at the office, which I don't think I'm usually able to do.
They scared that the Eagle was gonna show up there.
And such as Crockett and New Dillon, or I'm sorry, 83rd and New Dillon, we did have some traffic concerns there that we're taking care of, as well as, give me 1 second. We did get a report at Jefferson Elementary, working on that as well. And then we do have some other locations also. Again, Cook Acre.
I just want to make sure what they're talking about here, talking about the street rate community, you ask me.
That I know some of the public has been happy with, and I believe that was through the county. And I know that you guys are encouraged to also contact the department for any specific concerns. Anything that has to do with studies and implementing signage or speed bumps and things like that would obviously be through public works, but we are often involved when it comes to the enforcement and such. So again, thank you for your time. And if anyone has any questions, I'm here.
I have a question. I'm not sure if this would pertain to you or the sheriff. Is there any update on the high volume of, what is it, street vendors being attacked? Is there any, task force or any spotlight being put on that? On your end, at least?
I'm sorry, spotlight in regards to street vending in general, or?
I guess the robberies that have been, or the harassment that street vending has been, happening in the past couple months has been going up.
So I don't have any specific numbers on that. With the highway patrol, we deal mostly with the traffic concerns and traffic complaints. So I would not have any information. However, if anything is being done, in the presence of an officer and, there is someone around that can report it to a highway patrol officer who is in the area, please reach out, because regardless, as peace officers, we are still here to keep you safe, to make sure that we get all that information. I could even share that recently our officers were in a different unincorporated area and were contacted by a victim of a robbery, and our officers were actually able to locate the suspect who ended up being down the street just because that victim had seen the highway patrol, let them know, gave a great description, and we were able to make an arrest out of that. So I don't have any specific numbers for you, sir, but I do know that, if you see a highway patrol officer and you need assistance and you need help, please just, let them know, and we'll be happy to assist.
Then a follow-up question to that, is there any sample or template or training or program to be able to educate the community on how to better help you and help themselves write a police report?
Well, that's a good question. I think the necessary documentation when it comes to traffic, like a crash itself, obviously your driver's license information, registration, your insurance, having that on hand, and knowing the direction of travel that you were traveling. I don't have a physical template in place, but these are the kinds of questions that you would be asked by an officer. I don't think, and maybe Deputy Gonzalez can correct me if I'm wrong, in regards to whether or not they can file reports online with the Sheriff's Department. I believe LEPD allows that. I'm not sure if she's still with us, but regardless, there she goes. Go ahead. Yeah, we do have that online. Okay, so yeah, I mean, there's ways that you can file the reports online as well, and maybe reach out and get some other resources that are on there as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Angelia. Just a quick question. So you would be one of the main persons that oversees here, Florence Firestone area, or how many other officers are for service or community?
So if we're speaking in regards to a community outreach, is that what you're asking about, or are you asking in regards to just patrol in general?
Just in general.
Area.
Okay, in general, yes. So we do cover tons of freeway, and I can, run them off if you'd like me to. We cover the 110, the 105, the 91, the 710, the 405. We do cover the Vincent Thomas Bridge as well from San Pedro into Long Beach. And with that being said, we cover all of those freeways along with, we also cover the Joe Besman, I'm so sorry. Along with all those freeways, we cover unincorporated area. Florence Firestone is one of our areas, along with unincorporated Compton. We have like unincorporated Rancho Palos Verde, unincorporated almost like Big Spinoles area, and then we have like West Rancho Dominguez. We cover a ton of unincorporated area, but yes, we do service Florence Firestone. Of course, with all of that location that I've just provided you with, we do cover a big area, and we are still looking for new officers to come and assist us at the moment. But in regards to, who's out there patrolling or servicing in regards to traffic collisions and things like that and traffic concerns in your area, we are out there. It's just that there's only a certain number maybe assigned for, throughout the day. And then just keep in mind that officer normally covers the 110 freeway as well, or has to maybe assist with the 110 or the 105.
So I guess I was maybe more specific. So my main question, I guess, or concern is, are you pretty much the one that would actually would communicate with you any concerns within just this Florence Firestone area? Because I recall before we had our officer Douglas, he would come out to the meetings and whatnot, and he was our go-to person. So are you our go-to person for this community?
Can't hear you.
Hold on. Was it connected by you? Now say something?
So,
Can you hear me?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
You put the screen down.
So, I believe I heard something in regards to a previous officer who used to come to the meeting. Was this, anyone?
Yes, well, the main question was, are you our go-to person in regards to the Florence Firestone community issues, problems, you know?
Yeah, yes I am, and just know that I cover the entire area as well. So we currently are still working to, gather a team as we have in the past. But as of now, it is just me.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, absolutely, thank you.
We have one more.
Okay, no worries.
Hi, I'm just wondering what your scope of coverage is versus LA County Sheriff. Are you strictly highways and certain major arteries, and then the sheriff takes the rest? How do you guys divide and conquer?
Yeah, so as mentioned before, we are, we service the unincorporated areas, and that's not going to include everywhere, within LA, because, there's, how do I explain that? There's certain areas that are still considered the city, even though they're very close to an unincorporated area. So we cover the unincorporated area along with the deputies. However, we are focused on the state, and that is done through our enforcement in whether, well, I would say enforcement in traffic. So again, crashes that occur in your area, the takeovers, the site shows, we are the ones that respond to that along with the deputies as well. And then we also take a look at traffic concerns, so maybe if there's like a problematic intersection. However, oftentimes it does involve public works assisting us with maybe extra signage or implementing, traffic signal lights or ensuring that they're working properly, maybe conducting a traffic study. But overall, that would be what our role entails. In regards to enforcement as well, our officers are out there making several DUI arrests, and keeping impaired drivers off the road as well. And so I'm not exactly a motorist, such as if you are stopped along on the freeway on the right shoulder, you'll have an officer contact you, ask you if you need any assistance, and go from there.
If you can share the non-emergency number.
Yes, absolutely. I just put it in the chat. It's 323-259-3200. Yeah, this is a great number to call when, you don't feel like it's an emergency situation, and you would still like it to be reported. I encourage you to make the call, so that way it's documented somehow. And, even if you don't necessarily see an officer come around the corner right away, just know that oftentimes it takes multiple resources in order for us to respond to certain calls, especially if there's a large number, involved. Unfortunately, we've had too many patrol vehicles and officers in unsafe situations where they're in the middle of, the pit, or so they call, where the takeovers are actively engaging, and, the patrol vehicles, windows are bashed in, the patrol vehicle is completely vandalized and destroyed. And the last one that we recently had, we're just very fortunate that the officer didn't have to, harm anyone trying to get out of that situation. And so just know that oftentimes it requires lots of resources before a response is made.
Is that the correct number?
Can you repeat the number for the non-emergency contact?
Yes, sir. 323-259-3200. And I put it in the chat, so if Alexandra wants to give it, at the end as well.
Yeah, it's on the screen.
Yeah. Thank you. Any questions, preguntas? I think you're all set.
Thank you so much, sir. And then again, we look forward to seeing you at the next meeting.
All right, everyone, thank you. Let's give Angelia a round of applause. Once again, you guys also requested Wendy Gonzalez's info, so this is it. You guys want to take a picture?
Polyglass, were you able to get that? Wendy Gonzalez, 1701. 1701.
Forget about the prayer breakfast. All right, any announcements?
We did them
Just a quick announcement, over the weekend, we went to go see the movie Sound of Freedom. I don't know if any of you guys know about it, but it's about human trafficking, child human trafficking. And it's a very powerful movie, and I encourage everyone to go and see it. That's just basically it. It's with Jim Caviezel, who played Jesus in The Passion of Christ, so that's the leading actor who is portraying. It's based on a true story from a former Homeland Security agent.
And then you just reminded me, if anything, I'll have another announcement. Let me go to the front. Everybody here, I don't know if you guys are informed that there's another meeting Monday where you guys can all complain. Or if you guys have any other concerns, it's going to be at the library at 6 p.m. We'll be passing out the flyer when available. But I do recommend people from this community, my own community, to come and speak up for themselves, because I can only do so much, right? But if we all gather up together, it's going to be hard for us to be, stopped. So you can come Monday, the Florence Library. If you need more information, we're here, Steve's here, we'll be here.
It just got canceled.
Oh, it just got canceled, never mind. So whenever it gets reinstalled, just know that at least I'm ready. But thank you.
All right, can we get Irma Felicia, give us a little announcement or something? Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm sorry everyone, I didn't have anything prepared, but my name is Irma Galicia. I am Deputy for Constituent Services for the Office of Supervisor Holly J. Mitchell. I try to be a regular here as well. Unfortunately, sometimes we can't always make it, and I'll say this in Spanish. Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Irma Galicia. Soy la representante de la supervisora Holly J. Mitchell, acá representando la área de Florence Firestone. Desafortunadamente, el que estaba diciendo es algo que iba a decir, pero sí fue cancelado. El departamento de oficina de prevención de violencia lo tuvo que cancelar, pero cuando esta junta otra vez propuesta, voy a estar asegurada que Steve agarre información para que pueda compartir con la comunidad. The community meeting for OVP was actually canceled. It was postponed. Well, not canceled, it's postponed. Pending a new date. It will be at the Florence Library or maybe another location. But as of now, that's kind of all the announcements I have as well. I don't know what else to say.
Thank you so much, Irma. Everyone, let's give her a round of applause. Lonnie, Arturo Nevares, program manager. Just any update?
Oh, just real quick, yeah. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, Arturo Nevares with Lonnie. We're working with Florence Firestone on the application panel. So this Monday's meeting is okay. Well, that's a good thing I came to the meeting. I would have showed up. But I just want to let everybody know that the pedestrian plan is still going to be released in the fall. The final steps of the plan is for the plan to go to the Regional Planning Commission. And then after that, it goes to the Board of Supervisors. So now it's just a matter of waiting for when that takes place. So before that, I'll make sure to come to the meetings to let people know so that we take folks to the meetings so that the Board of Supervisors know that the community is really invested in this plan. So I hope to see you guys at the National Night Out too and other outreach events.
Can you also mention about the wall coming up on the...
Yes, and we also are working on with Florence Firestone organization on hosting a mental health awareness walk. It's part of our pedestrian plan efforts where we walk and document other issues that on the streets that can be repaired using the Works app. But this time we're inviting someone from Department of Mental Health to do the walk with us, and we want to invite community members so that we're walking, documenting issues, we're also, breathing the air, spending time outside, and also sharing resources directly from the Department of Mental Health. So I'll get more information as we plan this out. Thank you.
We got one more.
How you doing, guys? My name is Jesus. I'm right here literally from down the street right here, born and raised here in South Central. I'm right here really be in the city filming the cops. This is what I do. I'm a cop watcher. I film the cops, hold them accountable sometimes, what you guys don't see behind the streets. I see it all the time because I'll be in the streets right behind me, patrolling the streets, making sure they don't violate people's rights. And I'm also out here because sometimes the community doesn't call the police. Sometimes they send me a message and they let me know what's going on within the community, your community that we all grew up on, I've been in part of this community for 42 years, as old as I am. I was born and raised here, literally in Bethune Park. So I'm here advocating for my street vendor community. There's a lot of stuff going on here, right behind here, Amapola, within the street vendor community that you guys probably don't know. There's an organization over here called CPC here, thinking that they own the sidewalk. They are here causing a lot of conflicts with the street vendor community. You probably don't see it, but I'm just bringing it up to attention because I will be coming up more to the public meetings to address this problem in the community, what's going on, that the street vendor community is out here and they're fighting, you know what I mean? They're out here calling the cops on each other, and that's something wrong because it's becoming a problem for the street vendor community, you know what I mean? And I think it's better solutions to come, but I do want to address that CPC is in the community, and that organization has a lot of stuff that they're doing that I actually catch it on video on my live, that they're doing corruption here within the city, having other vendors really go out there after other vendors thinking that they could own the sidewalk, and I believe that's kind of wrong. You're bringing violence, you're antagonizing violence to the community, especially to the street vendor community, that they don't want to get the cops called, because you know what happens when the cops come? All hell breaks loose. So, I would really appreciate you guys being more aware of what's going on out here in the community, but that is going on. Thank you very much. Man. Thank you. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Is this? Okay.
Yes, CPC. They're right there on the sidewalk over there, and they're kind of like telling people over there, other street vendors. Like if you see another street vendor pull up to the sidewalk, it's your job basically to tell them to move around, and it's okay.
So we're having issues with that, but if any donations, that would actually help. It's just to spend a lot on paper, ink, and food also. So any donation would help to get a new one. Also, let's see, any concerns? Who would you guys want to come out for the next meeting? Any requests?
Not right now, but if they have any in the future, can they just email us?
Yeah.
If possible, can Wendy come?
Wendy next month? We'll request it and we'll see if she can do it. Angelia? Okay.
Yes.
I want to send you something. I don't know, maybe I'm just.
I got the videos are up on my YouTube channel. When I walked up to the place right there, when it's happening right there, like it is happening right there, and I'm showing up, and you can see them with their shirts and they're leaving because they know what I do. They know that I film. They know that I support my street vendors. I'm not telling you this, boom, there's a lot of equipment, but I think there's better ways to go about it.
Homelessness Initiative, and
mentally what they go
possibly
through
she
is
can come out and do a
you're setting them
presentation.
up for the wrong way.
Sounds
And I
good.
think
Thank you.
what's with the community, we want to bridge that gap. You know what I mean? Like, don't do that. There's better ways to go about it, CPC, because you guys are a corporation.
They were here
People don't
last
call the
month.
cops no more. People call me.
Can you check that
Straight up, you know?
And I will contact her, but if, if things don't continue to. Yeah, definitely,
Yeah,
Checking with you
they
guys.
gave the 2 previous months actually. Yeah, okay, but we'll try to get them back for you, no worries. So we also have Pamela here who has contact with them.
Yo tengo un anuncio, les quería sugerir que la Cámara de Comercio Distrito 57 ya está activa, por si quieren invitarla, Cámara de Comercio Distrito 57 con don Félix Romero, ya la activaron y van a empezar a trabajar con la comunidad y con los negocios por si quieren activarlas. No sé si quieren traducirlo.
¿Activar el qué?
La Cámara de Comercio ya está activa, la otra vez, la Cámara de Comercio Distrito 57, que quieren empezar a trabajar y no sé si quieren invitarlas para la casa para que venga a platicar o a ver qué proyectos traen también con los negocios estables y traen proyectos con los vendedores ambulantes.
¿Es un non-profit?
Sí, la Cámara de Comercio, no sé si la conocías, donde trabajaba don Félix Romero. Y si es como una, no sé si es non-profit, pero es Cámara de Comercio 157, que va a estar trabajando acá. Si quieren invitarla para cuando gusten. La pueden buscar en su website así, Cámara de Comercio 157. Trae un proyecto para los vendedores ambulantes y proyecto para los negocios estables de aquí.
All right, everyone. So the time is 7:34. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
I appreciate you guys. I'm the type of people. I just haven't come to address the city, man, you know. I know it's kind of
Everyone can go here and grab water. There's donuts. We have fruit.